if you got them.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming on Monday.
Okay.
Same
This
day.
Monday?
All
Oh.
this stuff coming. YMCA.
Yeah, I'm not around
And,
at all.
Oh, that's right, you run away again.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we got, that's right, you're not gonna be there at the, senior center, right?
I won't be there.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Mary ain't gonna be there? Okay.
Yeah, that's when 10 o'clock is basically
Yeah.
when she eats every morning.
Not a grandma either?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They show you pictures.
Yeah, show me a picture.
We're ready? Ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready? Ready? We're on. Oops. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Bristol Township Council meeting, February 19th, 2026. Starting time, it looks like 7:03. Please stand for a pledge of allegiance, moment of silence. Remember our service personnel, emergency responders, our police, and blue, our men and women in blue. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Again, it's great to see everybody. We need a roll call.
President Bowen.
Here.
Mr. Blaylock.
Here.
Ms. Dunlap.
Present.
Mr. Glassen.
Here.
Mrs. Wagner.
Present.
Before the meeting, we met in executive session.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hobart?
Yep, Bristol Township Council met in executive session prior to tonight's meeting, where issues of litigation, real property, and personnel matters were discussed.
Thank you. Monthly reports are available for review, Township Manager's Office. Public comments will be taken on land development and official action items. General comments will be taken during opportunity for residents to address council. Next, we have our presentations on the agenda, 2025 year-end review and 2026 goals. And first up is our chief.
Good evening.
Good evening. Great to see you.
It's good to see you guys as well. All right, so what I have is the 2025 year-end review. I do want to start off by saying we ended 2025 with a pretty big tragedy at Silver Lake. I want to thank everybody for their support, council, our police departments, dispatchers, EMTs, fire department, volunteer fire department. Something I've never seen in my 20-year career, and guys with longer time than me haven't seen anything quite like that, even people who are overseas. So it was, we're just blessed that it wasn't worse. So I wanted to thank you guys. All right, so first off, technically we're at 62 sworn personnel. By the end of this month, we are going to lose Lieutenant Cosgrove to retirement. He's completed his drop. We have, in charge of our patrol division is Lieutenant Mark Titus. In charge of our investigation and administration is Lieutenant Pat Kitcheman. We have 7 sergeants, 6 detectives, and 45 total officers. 8 sworn civilian staff. So we're going to go over some of our data, which is important for the residents to know about. The total incidents have increased from 2024 slightly, approximately 500 more incidents. A large amount of that is contributed to officer proactivity. As we're going to see in some of these numbers, our officers had more free time to be proactive and engage our residents. Why are these types of incidents important? It helps us with crime analysis and trends. It lets us plan for future to find out if we have spots within our department that we need assistance in, and allows us to give our resources the proper attention they need. Performance and accountability. We've moved into a performance-based evaluation process that we never had here in Bristol Township. So a lot of the stuff we do, we're keeping an eye on, is statistic-based on our officers to make sure that they're doing their job well, how fast and how long it takes them to write incidents, and how fast they can get to scenes. So our domestic violence, as you can see, our numbers were pretty consistent from 24. They're down slightly to 1,494 calls for service. That's probably our most common incident in the township. We had 60 simple assault arrests, 5 aggravated assault arrests. one involving a firearm, one involving a knife, one which was a weapon that wasn't described. We have a code in our system, it's just any other weapon. It could have been a pipe. And 2 aggravated assaults without weapons. All right, we had 185 assault reports in 2024. As you can see, they went down slightly to 164 total assaults, and they're broken down here. We're gonna make this slide and this data on our police website as well. As you can see, our robberies in 2024 were 33 robberies. We were down to 24 robberies in 2025. 7 robberies with firearms in 2025. Burglaries are also down. We had 51 in 2024. In 2025, we had 46 robberies. 17 nighttime, 11 day, and 18 were unknown. That's when somebody comes home, they don't know when their house or property was burglarized. 12 residential with force. They're the ones that concern us the most. As far as thefts go, in 2024, we had about 643 incidents of theft. In 2025, we had 658. Frauds are also slightly down. Our narcotics incidents are also down. In 2024, we had 98. We're down to 78 narcotics incidents. We had 6 overdose deaths, 55 total overdose, and 10 reversals with the use of Narcan. Our crashes also were down. We had 1,455 crashes, down to 1,379. As you can see, it breaks down how many types of crashes there are. If you see non-reportable, that means there was no injury or a vehicle did not have to be towed. If there's a reported injury or a vehicle has to be towed, it's considered a reportable crash with the state of Pennsylvania. We had 1 DUI fatal crash on Worcester Road in 2025. All right, this is our traffic stops and pedestrian stops. This is where you're gonna see an increase. This is usually where an officer has free time to engage the public with traffic stops and pedestrian stops. That can go from what they call mere encounter, which you'll see where we can walk up as a police officer and engage anybody that we see. We cannot detain them. We cannot make them give us an identification because we don't have reasonable suspicion that a crime occurred. But we still create a pedestrian stop where we just engage the public. That can be a business owner. It can be considered a pedestrian stop where you're just talking to somebody, you get their information and engage the public. That's important to me as a police chief because the more we engage the public, the better understanding we have of what they need. And that includes traffic stops. Many people think that our traffic stops were out there just to write tickets. That data-driven policing that we're talking about, I don't care how many citations are written. I do want us to stop cars. That lets the public know that we're out there. We're educating them on traffic laws that they might not be aware of, and give them a positive outlook and positive contact with police. We had 8,326 officer-initiated reports compared to 2024. What that is that's an officer finding something going on in a park that they came across. It's not driven by 911. So that's officers finding incidents within a town. And we're gonna get to why I believe this is occurring. Arrests and warrants. We had 1,053 arrests and 427 warrants. And as you can see, that increase in officer-initiated stuff, that's where we're finding these arrests. If you saw the other data, they're 911 calls. This is what we're finding on our own. All right. The dreaded automated red light enforcement. We're doing well. Why we have red light enforcement allows us to staff for higher priority incidents. That frees up officers to do other police work. It's 24/7 enforcement. And here's one of the big things. All the fines and costs that are incurred by this, Bristol Township doesn't see a dime. That doesn't come to us. At the end of the year, we push all the money right to PennDOT so they can do ARLI grants and upgrade intersections throughout the Commonwealth. They wrote that in the law for a reason. They didn't want us making profit. Small police departments with low populations can't even have these red light cameras. You have to meet certain criteria with the state of Pennsylvania. One thing I want to address too, a lot of residents had concerns about the right to face their accuser. You absolutely have that right. When you get a notice, you can plead not guilty, and you can have a hearing in front of one of the officers who approved the citation. An officer has to approve the citation. It does not get approved by civilian staff. That's law. So they have a right to come in and see the video themselves, go over it with the officer, and come to a conclusion. Again, this is about education. It's not about revenue, because we don't see any of it. Over time, we're expecting it to reduce serious crashes and save more lives. We try to post as many as we can of some of these outrageous red light violations. I'm shocked that we haven't had more serious crashes there. Okay, so basically that data-driven policing, that's important to me. I look over this and look for data, whether crimes are consistent year to year, our officer being proactive, or with the same amount of sworn officers. We have the same amount of police officers that we had in 2024. Big reason why, 2025, we changed from an 8.5-hour shift to a 12-hour shift. We expected officers to be more efficient, have more officers on the street, and there's potential cost savings. We did evaluate the data, and as we see, it's increased productivity, and cost saving was found. In 2024, total hours worked in overtime was 18,444 hours, compared to 13,403 hours. We're down over 5,000 hours in overtime. So estimated costs are about $472,000 in overtime. Now that saves taxpayer dollars, but it's also our officers are not working overtime. So they have a better work-life balance. I truly believe if we have well-rested cops with a good mental state, they're gonna give a better service to the public. 12 hours, they love it. Okay, some of the things that we have been doing with some of our free time. We've created our first police athletic league, which is going on tonight. It's engaging fifth graders with basketball right now. We did kickball, and I believe we're doing flag football come May. And we did, our officers, if you've seen them, they have beards. I allowed that, but they had to donate to the PAL program. So there's a financial kick for them to contribute. We use some of that money to hire a Harlem Globetrotter tonight, that's there with the kids tonight. We added 2 additional officers to the narcotics unit, and we promoted a detective. Part of that is when I look at that data, we had a spike in some shootings, and there was some crime in particular areas, so we added 2 uniformed officers to those problem areas, and it stopped within weeks. They're still there because of the outstanding work they've done. We did add a new detective. We have had an increase in crimes against children and internet crimes. It's internet crimes against children. It's called ICAC. We have every one of our detectives is trained to review that stuff, and it increased our caseload significantly. And with your approval and township manager's approval, we added a detective to handle and combat those crimes. We hired 2 officers to replenish sworn staff due to retirement. Another couple things that we've done, we rejoined Bucks County Major Incident Response Team. So that's anytime we have a major incident, whether it's Hurricane Sandy, we have politicians visit, MERT is activated. We haven't been part of that team since 2015, 2016, we removed ourselves. It's a multi-agency throughout Bucks County. So as you know, we're gonna have our 250th anniversary of our country this year. With FIFA, Philly's going to be asking for our MERT team for assistance. 4th of July, we expect that we could face crowds even here in Bristol Township. So there's a possibility they'll be deployed there as well. One of the things that everybody really likes to see, we added 2 K-9 officers and their partners to the patrol division. You can see them in the photo shown. And we currently have an agreement with the Bristol Township School District to allow school resource officers into the school. Right now we have 2 officers trained. We plan on deploying them in September, in the beginning of the next school year. Well, one will be assigned to the high school, and then the other one will be a floater from elementary school into junior highs. We see a large call volume in the high school, so that's why they're gonna be stationed there. And the other one's going to be more of a community engagement with the younger students. All right, some of 2026 goals and projections, we're going to continue to strengthen community trust and engagement. Demita's here from Bristol Cares. We try to work closely with her. She's got a lot of programs that we're trying to work out together. We're going to increase our participation in youth engagement and school partnerships, like we've already said. Training and professional development, that's one of our top priorities every year. We're trying to increase advanced training opportunities with constitutional policing. We just hired a company that's going to constantly forward us case law that our sergeants and lieutenants are going to review, and we're going to disseminate that to police officers. Thanks to Mark Titus, he's in charge of our program. He's actually in the back of the room there. He gets a big kudos for all the work he does with our training and professional development. Another thing we're doing with accountability and professional standards, we're strengthening our internal review process. Prior to this year, we never kept track of how many internal investigations we had. Our files went into a filing cabinet, we put a lock on it, and I couldn't tell you how many internal investigations we had. So we're adding it to our report management system so we can track those and so we can keep a track and see if there's any patterns of any type of impropriety of any officers. And we're going to conduct periodic audits with case files, citation practices, and make sure we're consistent and compliant. Like I was saying earlier, it's not about tickets. It's about making that traffic stop, because when people see police cars in Bristol Township doing their job, it deters crime. That doesn't mean you have to give that driver 4 tickets. That's not what I want. That's not the police department we want here. It's to educate. If you feel you need to write a ticket, the officer should write 1 ticket, 3 warnings. Fix your taillight, get your registration squared away. So we're taking a deeper dive into that type of stuff. All right? So any questions? That's basically a wrap for me.
I was surprised not to see Sergeant Macuzo's picture up there playing kickball.
I actually had that keyed up and put on there.
Did you have it?
I did, and I took it off because I didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Council, if I may, I think one thing that we added that was just missing is our honor guard.
Oh, that's
We
correct. Yes.
established our honor guard, and what you have seen, I forwarded a couple of thank yous from the department so that council can see. The command staff is super appreciative, and we're moving towards the proactive rather than the reactive that we've been trying to get to for so long. So we appreciate it with our chief and our command staff. Thank you.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the support of council and the manager's office.
Thank you. Great job.
I've been here for 20 years. We've never had this type of relationship, and we've never been able to get things done the way we're getting things done.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
I just
great
also want to point
presentation.
out that this is 6 months under this man's leadership. That's 6 months in review, truly.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, before
Thank
you
you
go.
very much.
No, before he goes, I want to say thank you for explaining how those cameras work. 'Cause I get a lot of calls and text messages, and I appreciate you saying the money goes here. Because they thought we were being like Ben Salem, oh, well, we're getting a ticket there. It's going for Bristol Township in your pockets and
Yes,
things. I'm glad
so
you
the
explained that.
way Arlie works, it is a state-approved program that the legislators put in law, so police departments and municipalities cannot get money. I don't even want our officers getting overtime for reviewing those violations. There's nothing. We get reimbursed for their time spent. So if an officer spends 3 hours a week reviewing and approving citations, we deduct that from the money we send the PennDOT. But we have to document everything. Nothing goes to the general fund. This is strictly about keeping our community safe. It has nothing to do about generating revenue.
I just want to mention about the cameras. I don't really like big government. We talked 1984, but we saw some of the videos of people running in red lights, 80 miles an hour, truck going through a red light on Route 13, or a car going around everybody. And it's like, all right, we can't have an officer full-time there. It's the best thing.
Yes.
I want to ask you about I see a lot of license plate where you can't read them. Are you able to read through them?
Well, yes. So
You can read through that,
yes.
they're black tinted or.
Yeah, because it's a video, it's not a photograph in most cases, so the company that we contracted can slow them down and read them manually if they have to, because them going through the intersection triggers an event. So now somebody knows they have to go look. They verify that tag is the tag that's being reported. Yeah, yes, unless they have some of the reflective stuff, but that's for a camera. These is a video, so there's no flash. They'll be able to work those back. So So our goal is human factors is a scientific term, right? We want people to go, there's red light cameras in Bristol Township, so they have their heads up. People are crossing the streets, kids riding bikes. They know they're approaching an intersection with a red light camera. They don't want to run through it. If you ever been down the boulevard where it used to be compared to what it is now, I'm upset that people aren't going faster, right? So that's the whole plan. That's the idea behind it.
And Marcia,
again,
if you want to direct anybody that calls you for any questions, we have a very detailed explanation on our website under the police department.
Thanks for answering that.
Yep, no problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything. Appreciate it. Okay, next is our Fire Rescue Department. Honorable Kevin DiPolito.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone? Good, good, good. All right, thank you. Okay, so a review of 2025 for us. It is. It's down. I just wasn't close enough. So for 2025, I'm going to cover all three departments that I oversee. First, we're going to do the Department of Fire Rescue. There we go. That should do it. Okay, so the Department of Fire Rescue, we're actually three departments. Everyone in this department covers the Department of Fire Rescue, the Office of the Fire Marshal, and Emergency Management. They're dual role personnel, actually triple role, to be honest with you. It's led by myself. I have an administrative assistant who is also our Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator, Amy. I have two captains who are also certified fire investigators, one of which serves as my Deputy Fire Marshal. 6 firefighter inspectors. It's noteworthy that we had lost 2 positions between 2010 and 2012, and under this council and this manager, those positions were brought back in 2022 and 2023. We expanded our hours. We used to be 8:30 to 4:30. As of 2020, we went to 6 a.m. to 4:30, and we've maintained that staffing. This is the staffing we had originally from 2006 to 2010, and we maintain that same staffing. When I refer to Rescue 225, that's the apparatus I'm talking about. It is a multi-purpose piece of equipment. It's a pumper. It's a rescue truck. It carries equipment for doing vehicle rescues, high-angle rescues, low-angle rescues. We can do tower rescues, meaning cell towers. There's a lot of specialized equipment on there. We carry water rescue suits on there, ice rescue suits, and so forth. I'll get to some more equipment later on in the presentation. During 2025, we responded to 491 incidents. 395 were fire rescue, 96 were medical. Our average response time from dispatch to the time we were responding was 53 seconds. Our average response time from dispatch to being on scene is 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, the asterisk indicates that some of those calls are reduced speed. We don't go to every single call, lights and sirens. It doesn't warrant that. It could be an assisted squad lifting a patient who is stable. It could be an arcing wire up on a pole, which we know we're not going to be able to do anything about. There's quite a few calls that we go reduced speed. Our personnel, whoever is not assigned to Rescue 225, is in their vehicle out doing fire inspections. They respond to the volunteer fire departments to assist them staffing their apparatus. In a lot of cases, we are qualified drivers for their apparatus, or we just staff the truck as firefighters, and that occurred a total of 284 times. Most importantly, there were no injuries during 2025, and that's, I don't know how many years it's been in a row now. I think it's been 3 or 4 that we've gone the entire year with no injuries of any of our personnel, at least none that they owned up to. You'll remember this truck was, or this piece of equipment was going into a service right about the time I did this presentation last year. It was either just placed in service or about to. It went into service in March. It is capable of doing collapse operations, whether it be structural, trench. It can do confined space rescue. It can do additional rope rescue, high-angle technical rope rescue operations. It can do breaching and breaking of concrete. We can cut concrete, breach concrete to 21 inches of depth. We can cut steel. As I told you last year, the equipment that you see on there mimics PA Task Force 1, the federal team that is run primarily by the Philadelphia Fire Department. Everything on there is the exact same equipment they use, and the reason I did that was, at that time, I said, if God forbid we ever had to call for PA Task Force 1 to come up here and give us a hand, and help us out. Whatever we've got in play when they arrive, it'll be a seamless operation to transition. They can jump in and they're using the same equipment to match ours. That is a piece of the equipment that's on there. It's wall shoring. The item you see right there with the little antenna, that is a motion sensor, and it picks up the most minutia of movements, and it's Bluetooth. So we can be, as incident commanders, we can be back at the command post with it on our phones, and if that thing senses any movement, the incident commander or myself or a safety officer will get an alert that says we have movement. And, you know, everything would stop until we fix that issue. Obviously, the chief spoke about the incident at the nursing home. You see the trailer was just pulling up on scene there. It hadn't even hit the brakes yet. And shortly thereafter, the equipment that you saw in the back is being carried off into the structural collapse to start doing some shoring. Difficult to see, but what you see there is one of those devices. It's called a strut. And that strut right there is going from a beam to the underdecking of the roof that collapsed. That white object you see right there is one of the tech rescuers going down into the hole underneath of that, down towards the basement. And that is, you know, part of the stabilization so we could do those searches underneath of there. This was some training that was conducted this year. One of the last things we did to put that trailer in service, this is mimicking a trench. It's right out back here behind our station, simulating a trench collapse. You knew about this when I was here last year, but we didn't have it in service yet. We literally just had it when I did the meeting. It was blue at that time. It had nothing on it. Our multi-purpose UTV is now in service, and as you can see, it has a lot of capabilities. Sadly, shortly after we put this in service last year, it went to Bristol Borough to assist them on a tragic incident. But it is a very worthwhile piece of equipment. As you can see in these pictures here, it can be anything. It can be an empty bed of cargo to carry equipment to and from an incident. For example, along the railroad tracks, we might need to take rescue equipment to a remote area along the tracks or back to a wooded area. Here you'll see that it can carry either 2 stretchers, 2 Stokes baskets, one of each, whatever it may be. Over here it is it's a skid. It's called a skid unit. It's a 75-gallon tank and a pump. It has hoses attached to it for remote, smaller fires like brush fires and maybe fires in the homeless camps if it's really off the beaten path. This was built by myself and a couple of the guys, and this stretcher here was donated from Levittown Fertile Hills when they replaced one of theirs. We increased our water rescue capabilities as we have been for the last couple of years. We were recertified as a PEMA team. PEMA, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management, and the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. They oversee all water rescue stuff in the state of Pennsylvania. We recertified as a PEMA Type 4 team for swift water rescues. We are going to be, soon we're going to be going for level 3. Just today we finished the ice rescue component of becoming a Type 3 team. I think the manager drove past and actually saw them out on the ice today. They were out there doing their exercises and being evaluated by the state. Everything went well. So once some paperwork is done and a couple pieces of equipment come in that I need, we will be evaluated by the state for that credential. And the ice rescue technician, which they completed today, is the highest level of ice rescue you can obtain in the Commonwealth. This is an increase. We now have 5 EMTs, a paramedic, and the 4 remaining personnel are first aid, CPR, stop the bleed. It is a little bit easier for us. We're unusual in the sense that Amy and I are both EMT instructors. We're both AHA CPR instructors. We're both stop the bleed instructors. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to maintain con eds and do some of the training in-house, and we also offer training for a lot of our businesses and the residents. We do quite a few classes each year. All of our personnel are active shooter trained, meaning that when the police department is engaged in an active shooter operation, if they need to take EMTs and paramedics in with them to treat the patients as they continue to sweep the building, all of our personnel are trained to do so. The truck is equipped with ballistic vests, special bags for those types of operations, as is my vehicle. All the vehicles carry EMT equipment, AEDs, ballistic protection, even the UTV is equipped with medical equipment. So the Office of the Fire Marshal, we had an uptick in significant fires last year. I conducted 29 significant fire investigations. And significant is a department fire, a house fire, something suspicious, a suspected arson, those types of incidents. There was a little bit of an uptick. Worked closely with the DA's office again. There were 4 arrests last year for arson. I conducted 51 plan reviews of some type of sprinkler or fire alarm system, land development. The fire investigations that are conducted actually internationally should be done in compliance with NFPA 921 and 1033. NFPA 1033 is the committee that writes the professional qualifications for fire investigators. It is a internationally recognized document, as I said, and proudly I have served on that committee as a principal member of that committee since 2012. The fire inspectors, they conducted 1,569 fire safety and UNO inspections of our businesses and large commercial properties. They did 932 re-inspections to ensure compliance with the inspection, that whatever violations were there were abated. They also did the sign and vending surveys while they were there, which go to the finance department. And we obtained over 1,600 emergency contact forms. Every single place we go to, we obtain their emergency contacts. We provide that to the 911 center. It gets added, it gets entered into the CAD. We give it to the police department, finance department, and so forth, so that no matter what time of the day or night, if we need to get a hold of somebody for a business or a commercial property, that information is in the CAD and we update it annually. We had a significant uptick in smoke alarms. We installed or distributed 269 smoke alarms last year and in 65 different homes as compared to 77 and 20 the previous year. In the Office of Emergency Management, I facilitated another emergency management exercise, which expanded on the one we did in 2024 when Thomas Jefferson University master students were here. This one was a bit functional, where we were actually doing things out in the township. We assembled a unified command post. We had 15 limited activations of our EOC, meaning there was something going on in the township, most often it's storms, or a water shortage, or a water outage. We had a couple of them this year, where we just monitor the situation and will get involved and assist if need be, whether it be with water tankers or what have you. We provided 7 first aid CPR trainings, as I spoke of a few minutes ago, and personnel in the department completed numerous emergency management trainings. In September, I was honored to give a presentation. I gave a lecture at the Keystone Emergency Management Association out in Altoona. Myself and Amy have both been asked to serve on various committees for KEMA. And we've been working with the Bucks County Planning Commission regarding the Bucks County Hazard Mitigation Plan, which we piggyback off the counties, and Amy has taken the lead on that. With the electronics recycling, that is handled by our department primarily. There were 470 residents assisted with their electronics out back at the electronics trailer, which committed us to 65 hours. That's how long generally it takes us. It takes us approximately 10 to 15 minutes with everyone, and that was the total hours committed to that. Construction activities. Everybody has seen what's going on next door. The senior center, I've been helping the manager facilitate that work. The senior center is going to be going under its final inspections tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, which we expect will pass, and they will get their certificate of occupancy shortly thereafter. As for us, we're currently working out of 2 buildings. As I said last year, we're working out of this office. We're working out of that pole barn. We will be moving into the old senior center with the addition on it. There was just a couple of pictures when they were starting to put the slab in, the footers, the floor drain, the stone base, and that's where we're at as of a couple of days ago. The walls are starting to go up. The insulation, the roof is going to be forthcoming. The connector building between the two rough timeline between this being completed and a little bit of modifications to the interior is maybe May, is possible. Okay, and that's the artist rendering once it's completed. It's going to go from that to that. So once we're in there, we're going to have increased office space. We're going to have adequate storage for our apparatus, the trailers. We're going to keep the shed building that we have now, the pole barn, to keep some of our non-day-to-day equipment in there, like the collapse trailer. We'll actually have a kitchen with a sink. We'll have a kitchen with heat. We'll have showers. It'll certainly be more modern for what we need as a fire department. We will have an SCBA fill station, so we can fill our air cylinders. Right now, we have to go to one of the volunteer stations to fill our cylinders. We'll have a compliant gear washer, so that when we come back from these working fires, we don't have to go to one of the volunteer stations to wash our gear. We'll be able to do it here. And we've been operating this way for 16 years. So it's long overdue, and I appreciate everything that the manager and council did to get us to where we're at with funding and grants for this. We'll have a dedicated emergency management operations center inside there, large enough to assemble leadership from all emergency services, public works and such, and command any large events. Grants during 2025, got a small one from the workers' comp that we have for personal protective equipment, another one from the state fire grant for hose and training, and of course the one you approved through the casino, the RDA casino grant for $40,000. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing for years when it comes to the businesses. Courteous fire inspections, being cooperative. If we go in to do a fire inspection and it's a bad time, they've got a staffing shortage, somebody called out, we'll come back. That's not a big deal. We're more interested in fire safety than anything else. As Mr. Bowen knows, if somebody wants to do their inspection sooner than later, they may not be due till September, but they want to get it done, call us. We'll do it, doesn't matter. I advocate for businesses. Sometimes when a business is going to put in or have some repairs or upgrades done to a sprinkler system, an alarm system, the contractor may go a little overzealous on what they need. So I will tell them, it's great that you are going to do all this stuff, but it may not be necessary for compliance. So I like to advocate for them there. We talked about the first aid, CPR, and extinguisher training we do for them. To advocate for new businesses, we always maintain, and by we, I mean Amy always maintains a list of vacant properties in the township, so that I have a point of contact with the Chamber of Commerce. Realtors know they can call us and say, hey, we're looking for a building that's 20,000 square with 2 garage doors. And, first thing we'll do is check the list and then talk amongst ourselves to see if we can think of any place that's vacant to attract that business into the township. When we get a new business UNO and it comes to our department from building and planning, I have a very firm policy that within 8 business hours, they will get a call from us to schedule that inspection. Same goes with plan reviews. I have a turnaround time of 8 hours for plan reviews to come to my office. Often I take them home. And I can provide firsthand knowledge because of the amount of time I've been in this township or close to it. I can provide firsthand knowledge to the businesses to, any power outage issues, any flooding concerns, and so forth. Goals, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, to be honest with you. We're going to keep going on our training. We're going to keep being professional when we deal with our businesses. I can proudly say it has been a very long time since we've actually had to issue a citation to a business. We're more interested in compliance than citations because citations don't fix the problem. So we work with them. The fire inspectors are very good at working with the businesses. If it reaches a point where I have to make a phone call, I will, but that's rare. We'll continue our professional development, which is not easy, I will admit. With all the certifications and credentials that our entire department has, it takes a lot to maintain certifications as fire inspectors, EMTs, first aid, CPR, and so on. The list is long, but it's not easy and it's quite time consuming. We'll continue our state of readiness. We will continue to be, and I will personally continue to try and forecast what could be coming down the road next that we may or may not be prepared for and work on that. I would love to see another injury-free year, knock on wood. We're going to continue to work with our colleagues in emergency services, continue to seek out grant opportunities and work with our businesses. And I'd like to also compliment the police department. In my 20 years under the command of the current police chief, we have had outstanding cooperation and and interest in assisting us with the arson investigations. So much so that they asked me to come in and do a program for them recently, which was, it was great. So that's it. You have any questions for me?
No, if I just also say that yeah, Chief DiPolito will probably kill me tomorrow and will not toot his own horn. But as I had forwarded you last week, the actual credentials came in today for the certificate. Yeah. So we now have a chief officer from the state, state credentials for, I'm sorry, I had it up here. It's the highest credentials available from the state. So there's only 2 in Bucks County, 42, I believe you said, in the state. And one of them is our Chief DiPolito.
Wow, congratulations. That was, yeah. I'd like to just say, with the nursing home explosion, well, let me back up a little bit. We raised the taxes, I think it was $20 a household for volunteer fire departments. And of course, you have the keyboard warriors, crying, where's that money going, all that stuff. I'm at 413, and I hear there's about an explosion at the nursing home, and I see Middletown police. I see Westmoreland fire trucks, and I'm like, I never go, I stay out of everything. I better go over. I get over there, and the first thing I see is seniors in wheelchairs as far as you could see. And I'm like, what's the protocol? And they're like, all hands on deck. We started pushing all the seniors into the Lower Bucks Hospital, and they did a great job handling that. So then I come around, and I hear Kevin DiPolito on the phone commanding orders, and there's hundreds of apparatus from all over Bucks County, Philadelphia, New Jersey. How do you control that? And he's controlling it. It was amazing. That was at 2 in the afternoon. At 9 o'clock at night, you're still there, and you see all the volunteer that the keyboard warriors complaining about, paying the $20. You see everybody there. Still, they left their jobs. They're there. And, of course, there's Joe Glasson, 4 in the afternoon, suited up. And I go, how you making out? He goes, I never pulled so many bodies out in my life. You remember that? I said, how you, all that gear on, I'd be dropping over, huffing. He says, oh, I'm ready.
Well,
but it was amazing that how you commanded everything. It was
I appreciate
just
that, but
unbelievable.
let me tell you, it wasn't just me. There
I
was the incident
somebody was
commander.
in charge, right?
The incident commander for fire was Deputy Chief Howard McGoldrick and Chief Burns from 3rd District. On the EMS side, we had Chief Lisbinski and his crew. We had the police department and all their command staff. It was absolutely, as you said a few minutes ago, it was a team effort. Everybody was doing what need be done, and it was in fast motion. I cannot believe that we used that trailer as quickly as we did.
Yep.
I'm glad we had it. I hope we never use it again.
Well, glad you were there, and everybody else, and all the volunteer,
And
the pay fire companies that showed up too.
yes, we had the amount of volunteer firefighters we had that day was nothing short of a miracle. We got lucky. It was done on a day when a lot of them were off from work due to the holidays. So we had an extensive response. We did have the paid crew like ourselves from Middletown and Bensalem. As soon as they heard the report, they asked Chief McGoldrick, do you want us to respond? And they did. And, so it was 90% volunteer firefighters for the fire personnel. And we got lucky. When it happened, it could have happened at a worse time of the day. But it was definitely an all hands on deck. And I think by the time we got out of there on the first night, it was 1 a.m. And then we were back at it 7 a.m.
And you have to give the residents that lived there that weren't involved,
Yeah.
they helped. They were pushing seniors into the hospital. Everybody,
I
all hands on
remember
deck.
saying
Everybody was
to-
pushing it.
I remember saying to a couple of residents, they said, what can we do? And I told them, just start getting them to the lobby of the hospital. I said it to some police officers. I know you were doing it. I know you pushed some, and the hospital staff. They were
It was
rock
over 100
stars.
people coming in.
Yeah.
And it got to the point, anybody seriously hurt, emergency room. If not, into the conference, that big waiting
Yeah,
room?
there's going to be, we were just speaking of it yesterday, there's going to be an opportunity to recognize emergency services and such that were involved in the rescues. Just last night, the manager and I were talking to Chief McGoldrick about putting together that list of who did what in the various levels of recognition they deserve, whether it be valor, merit, unit citations, or what have you. So that is forthcoming, but I did have an opportunity to speak to some of the hospital staff the other day. And over the years, I've worked with them on their surge capacity planning, which means when there's a mass casualty incident and the hospital gets overwhelmed, I've had the pleasure of working with them on those plans over the years. I saw it in action that night, and they knocked it out of the park. And I told them, look, I know what you did. I know you pulled nurses from other floors down here. So there may have been nurses up there that weren't down here in the ER, but those nurses that were left on the other floors were also left tending for double the amount of patients. So even in the hospitals, it was all hands on deck.
And also, of course, our police department.
The police department,
The guys were
it was ridiculous.
And Middletown, I know,
way they
I don't
were-
know if there was any, but Middletown was there too, police department.
Absolutely,
So
there
every,
was-
I don't know if there was other police departments.
There were police departments, park rangers.
Yeah, the sheriffs, right,
Yep,
park rangers. yeah.
Absolutely. One of the fellas in the basement with us when we dug out one of the police officers in the basement with us was a sheriff who happens to be a fireman at Farrell Hills. He's one of our captains at Farrell Hills, where I'm a volunteer. There were law enforcement from all different directions. And if Lieutenant Titus is still here, I had the opportunity to tease him a little bit because I saw him carrying a fire ladder. So he was clearly living out his childhood dream at that time.
Kevin, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. All right, thank you, everybody. Moving right along, we're on the consent agenda. We had to consider approval of voucher list and requisition dated February 19th, 2026, in an amount of $6,270,936.40. And consider approval January 5th, 2026, and January 15th, 2026 council meeting minutes. So we need a motion for that. Motion by Marcia Dunlap. Second by Marion Wagner. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have report from Township Manager.
Thank you, President Bowen. The only thing I wanted to comment on is I had sent out council a summary. I would like to give the public the knowledge as well that that $6.2 million, that was an eye-opener to me as well. But for January, we had a lot of upfront capital costs. A lot of the departments purchased all their cars that were needed. They started that out in the 2025 process because it takes so long, and then to upfit. So we had the actual purchase when we received the car. That's when we pay for it. We had all of our snow events on there, so that was a lot of cost. Again, that's all out of liquid fuels. We had the Randall Avenue Bridge final payment. That was from a grant. We had our RDA grant reimbursements. Again, those are just pass-throughs. And we had some sewer improvements, and that's all from a grant. So if you were to take out the capital, as I had expressed to you in that summary, that's about $4 million worth of stuff, and we're back down to our normal bill run. Just eye-opening.
Thank you.
Big number. Thank you.
Anything else? Next, we have Scott Holbert, Township Solicitor.
No report for you this evening.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're moving on, new business. We have application of 2924 Veterans Highway LLC, CO Manning Agenda. Good enough. 2924 Highway Bristol Tax Partial 5-024-062 and 05-024-063, requesting preliminary final land development approval for a 12,545.6 square foot building addition and associated parking lot improvements at the above noted location within the C Commercial Zoning District. Good evening.
It is. There we go. Good evening, Council. My name is Brendan Callahan from Begley, Carlin, and Mandio, and as stated, I'm here on behalf of GFO Stone International, and they're the owner of the property located at 2924 Veterans Highway in Bristol Township. Again, we're seeking preliminary and final land development approval for a 12,545 square foot building addition and the associated parking lot improvements. I had the owner of the business, Manny Al Gandhi, here to answer any questions the council may have regarding the business or how that addition is planning on being used. For a brief procedural background, we appeared before the zoning hearing board in August and obtained zoning relief, and we appeared before the Planning Commission on February 3rd of this year and received recommended approval for the project. We're in receipt of the January 30th letter from Gilmore and Associates. Our engineer provided responsive correspondence with the requested waivers that we'll need for this land development project. I'm going to turn it over to our engineer, who's Larry Young, to do a brief walkthrough of the site plan, but as stated in his correspondence, everything will be a will comply in the Gilmore Associates letter except for those waivers that we are requesting.
Okay.
Mr. Young?
State your name, please.
Larry Young.
Larry, good to see
Larry
you.
Paul Young. All right.
Thank you, Larry. Mr. Young. Just for the record, Larry Young used to be our township engineer, decided to go in a different trail. Good to see you again.
Hi. Up here on the aerial, the site is outlined in red. You can see there's a 25,000 square foot building, parking on the front, and there's big asphalt area in the back. You can just scroll to that bigger. This is the only grass area that's on the site. It's about an 80,000 square foot lot size. We received two variances, one for impervious coverage and one for building coverage. The site does not have stormwater on it today. It basically drains to this back corner where there's a swale back here. This is the Nucci's property, the yard back here. You can go to the next one. Okay. The building addition is right off to the side here. We're expanding the parking lot, a few spaces out front, and these are the loading spaces in the back. There's going to be some internal loading spaces also, and these two darker rectangular figures are underground basins, and they're going to actually, this one infiltrates 100% of the stormwater that gets to it for the 100-year storm, and this one has also infiltrates the 100-year storm, but it has an overflow pipe that discharges into the swale down here.
So right now,
we also are, let me just say
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
We also, one of the things at the zoning hearing board was we're proposing about 90% impervious coverage, and one of the conditions was that we kind of oversize the basins to take to account for some of the existing impervious, not just existing, but the proposed part too. So we're taking about 38% of the existing impervious into our basins, plus what's
So
needed
right now,
for the
there's
proposed.
no stormwater management. It's all going in the back and into that
Yeah,
swale.
some of it does come out to the road on Veterans Highway,
Right.
but predominantly this whole area back here comes back to the, and then
So
it
now
goes to a
you're going to have
tributary.
two of them, and they're going to hold the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Volume of water.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's going to infiltrate into the soil.
Okay. That's a lot better than no stormwater management,
Yeah.
especially back there.
Yeah.
I know that's a problem. Mr. Schroeder, you have any comments on that?
No, nothing to add.
Good, okay. Thoughts from council? So it's, his, building is used for courts and
Yeah.
granite, and it's gonna be for storage.
Yeah, if you noticed in that aerial, he has product inside that building, but he also has it outsized, exposed to the elements. So the reason for the addition is he wants to put the product
Right.
inside, protected from.
Okay.
And it's not open to the public, it's basically fabricators that go in there.
And pick up.
Pick out the slabs,
Okay.
and then he ships them to the fabricator.
All right, we need a motion from council.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mary Ann Wagner to move forward, second by Marcia Dunlap. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Would the owner like to say anything? No, thank you. You want to come up and talk? Say, no? Okay, just asking. All right. Well, I appreciate investing in Bristol Township.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Man.
All right, good, I'll wait. Next, we'll, in a moment, will be, we can move forward. Yeah, we have an application of Americo Real Estate Company, U-Haul, 2631 and 2701 Durham Road, Bristol, tax parcel number 5-020-003 and 05-020-003-001, requesting preliminary final land development approval to construct an 18,000 square foot building in Phase 1 and Phase 2, proposes the construction of a 5,000 square foot building at the above noted location within the TC Town Center Overlay District with an underlying C Commercial Zoning District. Well, good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Gussie. It is on. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I just have to crane. Oh, yeah. All right. So just wanted to let you know, you recited that there's going to be a Phase 2. We're actually not doing that Phase 2 with that second 5,000 square foot building. We talked about it at the Planning Commission.
The site, that little,
The site, yeah, because it was in the TOFA, so it was going to cause a lot of delays. So that's actually one of the comments I was going to bring up tonight, is that this is something we've been working on since 2021. So I'm here this evening representing U-Haul in an application for a U-Box warehouse. They own that Bristol Plaza Shopping Center. So they currently are using the space for storage units. They're going to be adding this 18,000 square foot warehouse. They're also going to be making some site improvements along with it. We've had a lot of different meetings with township representatives. We've been in front of council before on this application. Had a lot of different meetings just to make sure that we can get this on a path to an approval, make sure that it's something that the township's gonna like, that's gonna be a nice improvement. They're gonna be investing a lot of money to, make the site look nicer and be a nice addition to Bristol Township. In conjunction with doing the U-Box warehouse, we're also gonna be relocating a 1,000 square foot, they call it a Miller building. It's a garage style building that's currently on the site. We're also going to be greening it up. We've got some renderings, which our project engineer is going to take you through in our presentation. And we're going to also be doing some interior landscaping at this site so that some kind of back of house operations are not going to be visible from Durham Road. Let me see, just wanted to go over my notes. We've also removed a canopy that we were previously proposing at the site. So you're going to see those in the renderings, but that's not going to be on the site when it's all finished. At the request of the township, we're going to be limiting the presence of trucks that are on Durham Road. We're going to be limiting them to only 6, because U-Haul is pretty infamous for the fact that you're not going to turn on your TV and see a U-Haul advertisement. Their trucks are their advertisement with the different sites that they're, the different states in the United States. In terms of procedural history, this did receive sketch plan review. We were here in April of 2025 to get sketch plan review. Following that, we went to the zoning board on June 9th and did receive variance approvals for this application. We also received approval from the Planning Commission in February of this year, so just a couple weeks ago. The resolution reflects the different approvals that we received, and we would ask that it be adopted this evening. But with me this evening also is Gabby Buchter. She's our project engineer. She just has a few renderings to show members of council.
Hi, good afternoon. Gabrielle Buchter. I'm the civil engineer with Colliers Engineering and Design. Does this work? Okay, great. Just to walk you through, the site here is located along Durham Road and Veterans Highway across from the Wawa. And this is what Gussie was talking about here, is what the 18,000 square foot building would be. And these are the U boxes. And then this is the Miller style building that will be relocated. And then just to walk you through the plan, this is an overall existing conditions. You can see the existing development here, and then this would be the limit of disturbance here. It's just the parking area currently. Similarly, this is just the enlarged existing conditions plan showing the parking lot and where we'll be developing the 18,000 square foot warehouse and the 1,000 Miller building. The existing curb cuts are to remain. And then this is the overall site plan, and this isn't a large site plan, so you can see here the large 18,000 square foot warehouse, and then there's the Miller building in the back. We're reconfiguring some of the parking area, and there's the canopy that we're gonna be removing. Additionally, just to flip back, in the original layout right now has 11 parking spaces along the front. In order to add some curb appeal, we did reduce that to 6, and that's where the U-Haul advertising vehicles will be. Do you have any questions so far on these plans? Okay, and then just to walk you through the renderings quickly, here you can see the building. In the back here, we have some arborvitae proposed, which will block the trucks from view of from the street. Yeah, here's the frontage. You can see we provided a lot of landscaping. They're a little bit lower than what's required, but that's just to provide, so you can see the advertising vehicles. And then you can see back here the arborvitae, which is blocking the view of the trucks. Just to flip through these quickly, here's just some views from the street, Durham Road and Veterans Highway. And then you can see the Miller building right there a little bit better. Again, there's the row of arborvitae. And then that's the back view. This is where the trucks would be stored if you were looking towards the street. And those are the renderings there. So you have any questions on those? Oh, no, I'm saying if you're looking from the parking lot towards the street, those are the trees.
That's 95 back there? Okay.
Yeah, there's no residences nearby. If you wanted to pull up the aerial again, we could just show that it's.
All right.
I heard a question about Effie's Chicken. Apparently, according to social media, they're open.
Yeah,
soon. They're going to be open very soon. So.
Signs are up.
Yeah, so there's no residences that are nearby. It's across from a Wawa, and it's green.
It looks so much better.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mary Ann Wagner, second by Marcia Dunlap on the motion. Is there any questions about moving forward with U-Haul? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the time.
It's been a while. Congratulations again.
Yeah, right. 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving along, resolution to designate township manager for execution of reimbursement agreement, RASR 2606005, and all the other documents and agreements between the Township of Bristol and PennDOT for the Tip Randall Avenue Bridge Replacement Project.
Thank you, President Bowen. This is what it says is a resolution to designate. To explain even more, so we just completed the Randall Avenue Bridge, and what we are planning on doing, and by some of the funding through the bridge infrastructure, it's gotten down to the point where the Randall Avenue Bridge has finally made the tip that we've been requesting for several years. Our proposal is, right now, we're looking for RFPs for a concept plan to do an analysis on the existing Randall Avenue Bridge. What we hope to do is create a Haynes Road Bridge, so it'd be an extension down from Haynes Road, and that would cross over to the railroad tracks and come out with a loop potentially on property that we'd have to acquire, and then off to Randall or to Radcliffe Street. And that would be a truck and residential or vehicular traffic. So that's what we're trying to do, since we're having so many issues with truck traffic going over on Randall Avenue Bridge. It's hard to enforce 24/7. And we appreciate the residents calling and letting us know. They appreciate, we did have grant funding to reestablish and restabilize that bridge. This project, hopefully, if we move it over to the Haynes Road, would take us to the lifespan of the existing upgrades that we did for the Randall Avenue Bridge, and then that bridge would be demolished. So right now we have $1.4 million in preliminary engineering, and that would be the reimbursement grant designating the manager as the approver.
Okay, we need a motion. I'll make that motion. Motion by Joe Glassman.
I'll second that.
Second by Marion Wagner. On the motion, is there any questions on all that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a resolution replacing Resolution 09-2009 to include Bristol Township School District and Bucks County Technical School mechanical, electrical, and plumbing permits, and remove monetary requirements for council action isn't required. You want to explain?
Sure. We get many calls from Bucks County Technical High School as well as the school district. They were not officially on their resolution for nonprofits in 2009 that was passed. We'd just like to extend them to include them as well, to take any responsibility, just as a 50% reduction in permits. It originally only had sign permits and building permits, so we're adding all the other trade permits as well, and to not have to come in front of council or have it be on a council agenda. It's just a 50% permit reduction fee for all of those.
We need a motion.
I will make that motion.
Holy, how about this? All in favor? Aye. All right. Anyone opposed? Better not be. All right, thank you. Next, we have presentation acknowledgement of the township's written general procurement policy.
Just to
Alrighty.
finalize the agenda here with our stuff. This is policies that the manager's office is implementing. It does not have to come in front of council, but we wanted council to review and acknowledge. These are existing procurement policies. We'll have other policies as well to be acknowledged in the in our finance department. We're just putting in place what we're doing and putting it in writing. We don't really have any written policies, and we had some recent theft. So we want to put everything in place, and we wanted council to have that knowledge that we are being proactive about this and will not allow anything like that to happen again.
Can totally agree with that. In fact, I think, everyone in favor? Aye. Anyone is opposed? Oh, we don't have to do? Oh, okay, it's just a presentation. I'm so sorry. Well, I think we're all in favor of that, all right? All right, moving right along with other business. Comments from council members? Any comments? No? Yes. We have, in the U-Haul, surprised I didn't mention it, it was the old KFC. We have Iffy Chickens very soon to be open up. Of course, we have the keyboard warriors, yeah, we need another chicken place. You know what? You read about the other keyboard warriors, and they're saying that we're glad because we go over to Burlington, and it's a great place, and the chicken's phenomenal. And, of course, the keyboard warriors don't understand if we bring business in, it brings the mercantile tax in and the taxes and helps from us raising taxes. But anyway, so that is opening up real soon. Again, that's the old KFC at the U-Haul, and we can't wait to go. All right, Marsh, you're on.
Okay. This upcoming Monday, of course, we have our senior center.
Push the button.
That's on.
Can't hear you. Go ahead.
Anyway, Monday coming up, February 23rd, it's going to be a YWCA Bucks County. It's going to have presenting Tony Porter, A Call to Men. We're going to be having a ceremony there, 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Bucks County Community College. They're at 1304 Veterans Highway in Bristol. So whoever wants to come, all is welcome. Also, February, Monday, 2026, from 6 to 7:30 p.m., honoring Black History Month, NAACP County Branch, No Longer Bound, Bristol Riverside Theater. They're going to be having also a author, veteran, and also special guest moderator Kevin L. Antoine, who will be there at the Newtown Township Building, 100 Municipal Drive, Newtown, PA, 18940, on Monday. So anyone wants to come, all is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia, bringing that up. Moving right along, we have opportunity for Residents Address Council. And the first, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce your last name, but it's Susan McClellan. McCullen. Come on up, Susan. And officially put your name and where you live.
I'm Susan McClellan Playstead, and I'm a Falls Township resident. I live at 50 Howley Drive, Morrisville, PA, but I am speaking tonight about a property in Bristol Township, Bolton Mansion. And I've prepared my talk so that I will cover everything. I am the current President Secretary of the Friends of Bolton Mansion. With me is Ralph Dowdell. He's house manager and historian. We, along with 14 active members, out of about 60 total, are custodians of the multiple structures that comprise what is known as Bolton Mansion on 5 acres of property in the Holly Hill section of Bristol Township. And all of us are volunteers. Our buildings include the first structure built in 1687, the second structure built before 1699, an addition built in 1792, and another addition added in 1876. What you see now, all of these structures were clad in stone. Another independent structure on the property, now known as the Farmer's Residence, was built on the foundation of a timber frame manor house constructed by Phineas Pemberton in 1699 and destroyed by the British during the American Revolution. Bolton Mansion is a significant historical asset for Bristol Township, with Phineas Pemberton being the Director of Records and Surveyor General for William Penn. They were both Quakers and genuine friends. Phineas laid out the streets of Bristol, then known as Buckingham, which became the downtown Bristol of today. We're coming here today because the Friends of Bolton Mansion would like to have a better communication and involvement with Bristol Township. Bolton Mansion, with its rich history, should be a focal point and asset to the township. With the goals of maintaining the grounds and structures and continuation with restoration, we need a community of people, businesses, and most importantly, township support. I would like to make arrangements for meetings with council members and offer tours to Bristol Township personnel so that all know more about the significance and historical connection of Bolton Mansion with Bristol. And thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, one of the things that we haven't had, I've been here now for 10 years and there's been no interaction. I don't even know who to interact with. We did have maybe your former president of the Bolton Mansion. She was on our steering committee for the Open Space Parks Recreation Plan. But one of the things that we saw that some of the, during the sledding times and kids were, not taking kindly to some of the infrastructure there.
Mm-hmm.
We are eligible as an entitlement grant for community development block grant, and there's historic preservation So we would love to talk to you because we could probably help you out with a significant grant to be able to help out with the historic preservation, the upkeep.
I think I have more time than the previous presidents. I run a business still, but I have more time. So I'm hoping to leave today with some emails, some connections. So if you could talk to me before I leave so I can continue, because I knew we have so much history and we have so much to offer. We just need to be connected. So that's my goal. Thank you.
Last but not least, Wes Wessler. Come on up, Wes. Always good to see you. Hobble on up here. Shoulders back, head up. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, head up. Gotta look at what I'm doing. Well, I asked a few months ago about doing a PowerPoint here. And the reason I wanted to do that was to show you some of the properties that are around that L&I isn't quite looking at, that need to be looked at, that L&I complains about, but they don't complain about these certain properties. You know, yeah, one of them, two of them are neighbors on both sides of me. One's 514 and one's 416 Western. And they got what the township declares as junk all over and around the property. Another thing I wanted to talk about was 514 has flashing lights that are, I said something about having lights on their flags. So they didn't put a white light facing up on their flag. They put flashing lights up facing their flags. But they put them up high enough that they flash over that 10-foot fence and into my kitchen window and on my property. Why would they do that? I guess it's all summed up in one word: 2709, harassment. And the reason I say that is because I've had seizures. They know I have seizures. And they continue to do this. And his significant other that lives with him is an RN, so she should know about this. Who's an RN? I'm sorry, I missed that. Who? 514 Western significant other. She's an RN, registered nurse. Yep. And has cameras on his property, facing my property, and the cameras face right at my back door. So that he can see when you come in and when you come out. They also face on my driveway. And they're mounted on places that are not his property. Specifically, one is on a telephone pole. Telephone pole is not to have. Is that a Bell telephone pole or PE? It's got a PE number on it. So it's a Pico pole. So there is statutes that cover that. I got a copy of the statute. I gave it to L&I long ago.
Now, they're not using laser, right? This is just a regular light for the flag.
Right, it's not a laser light, no. No, it ain't a blue, it's not a blue laser, no. I don't know if any of you are aware of what a blue laser is and what that does.
I know there was a fellow here a while ago that had red laser lights on. That's why I'm just making sure.
Now, I continue to have trash blowing into my front gate. And it's coming from 513 and 514. Blows down the street and into my gate. So if they're putting the trash out early, like I talked about before. No, no. It's like wrappers. It's like soda cups. It's like cardboard boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Amazon boxes.
Yeah, yeah. So am I out of time yet? Almost. Almost. I usually time it pretty well. Of course, I've been doing this for what, 20 years? Yeah. Okay, so I'm done. Like I said, your kid has to do 30 years now to get what he could have got by doing 20.
On that, no, what? He's not, hold on. He's not, we're gonna close the meeting and come up, and we're gonna stay here. On that, we have a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you.